are creating rosemary infused veal chops with a spiced roasted turnips. Don't forget to subscribe, hit on the bell icon as we get to creating this simple meal with a very stylish sauce. A kg of turnips peeled and cut into large dices. Into that goes some Asafoetida or hing, so nearly 1/4 teaspoon of that, and this is what gives it that strong spice content. Into that goes some smoked red paprika. So I'm just eyeballing nearly a tablespoon of that because that smokiness is what's going to transcend this dish to the next level. Into that goes nearly about a tablespoon of finely chopped mint, a tablespoon of finely chopped cilantro. We're going to marry all this together with nearly 15 ml of extra virgin olive oil, and finally we're going to season this with my wonderful Himalayan pink salt. And lastly, a good generous tossing. So just toss this till the smokiness gets to marry into that gorgeous white. Line this on a foil covered bake tray, and this goes bang into the preheated oven at 190 degrees Celsius for just about 40 minutes because you wanted to get that crunch outside but soft within. Veal is a very subtle flavor, so you do not need to put too much into it. So into a cast iron, nice and hot, goes in nearly about 20 ml of extra virgin olive oil and loads of butter, so nearly 30 grams of butter. You're going to allow this to sizzle and sweat along with 2 to 3 sprigs of rosemary, 1 fresh red chilli just cut into the largest possible chunks, and 8 cloves of garlic cut into the thinnest of slivers. So this is crude, this is chunky, but this gives the veal all the flavor that it's required. Allow this to melt, and you want that extra butter to baste your veal chops in. A minute of allowing everything to infuse together. Finally, in goes the veal chops. So I've got a kg of veal chops, and I'm just going to allow them to braise very slowly in this pot. Just put them in, allow it to sear very well, and then turn it on the other side and slow cook it to perfection. It needs to fall off the bone. Accentuating the flavors with some rosemary lavender sea salt, and lavender gives it that speck of goodness through and through, so a fine sprinkle of that going on top. There's something about having dehydrated rosemary and fresh rosemary in a mix. It just gets the flavor more sharp. And not forgetting my favorite, that's the freshly milled black pepper. So fine sprigs of that going in. And we're just going to turn this on the other side. Out here you want them to sear, you do not want them to brown because you want them to slow cook to perfection. So flip these over, give them another sprinkling of that rosemary lavender sea salt, some freshly milled pepper. Lower the flame and cook these on the slowest possible simmer, covered for a good 20 to 25 minutes. Now, talking about that sauce that I've been raving about, who would have ever thought that a Raspberry Jalepeno coulis would work wonders with the subtleness that veal chops bring. So into a cast iron goes about 5 to 10 ml of extra virgin olive oil, and you can use any oil. The purpose is to get the flavors all riled up. As this gets hot, we're going to get to adding some softened yellow butter. In goes about 20 to 25 grams of yellow softened butter. Just allow it to melt along with nearly 4 jalapenos roughly chopped up. I'm using the pickled kind that bring out their flavor, and add that little bit of sweet and spice into those beautifully tart raspberries. With the heat on the rise, I'm just mashing the jalapenos to expose most of their flavor. Now into this goes one red onion, the medium-sized kind, finely chopped, just to balance out the jalapenos and the tartness that the raspberries bring into this coulis. Mashing the entire thing well together so that the flavors go in. Now into this just goes about 150 grams of frozen raspberries. And look at that gorgeous red. Now you want this to macerate and mingle with everything, exposing themselves through and through. So just mash it down and allow the flavors to merge. I don't want this coulis to be very, very smooth. I just want it to have that chunky nature, accentuating the veal chops. Into this goes about half a cup of water, just to get everything to the right consistency. Simmered for another 15 minutes till the flavors come together. As this simmers right towards the end, to give it a fine sprinkle of some Celery sea salt, a quick stir and switch off the flame. You just want the flavors to come together really, really well. Now this egg salad is a slight confusion of sorts because the bottom line is to finish off one yellow bell pepper and some arugula that I've been having lying around. So a bunch of arugula, nearly about 250 grams, nicely refreshed, goes into a bowl along with one yellow bell pepper diced. We're just going to toss the two together and get to plating this with some egg and a favorite of mine. Now although this salad is a fiber overload, I'm not going to create an emulsion or a dressing because I want to use that gorgeous raspberry coulis that I created. So into a bowl this goes, ready to be plated up. Now while the bell peppers shine through that green, I'm just going to take 4 hard-boiled eggs that I had boiled and just layer them in between. I like building up the salad, giving it that beautiful speck of flavor. This, imagine with that raspberry coulis, sheer heaven. It's an indulgent all by itself. It's just going to accentuate that gorgeous veal. And finally, giving this that gorgeous speck of color, very Mediterranean in nature, is some ruby red jewels of this gorgeous fruit. That's the pomegranate. And this is what styles this elegant egg salad to the next level. Slight speckles and you have a decadent egg salad ready. Just in time, the turnips have browned gorgeously well and they are cooked. So all we're going to do is take it off and just put it into a bowl. All this needs is a fine sprinkle of some juliennated mint along with some cilantro just to give it that burst of freshness through and through. This is done, cooked to perfection and ready to be served. Believe me when I tell you, your weekend dinner or Sunday brunch takes on a whole new meaning with these 5-ingredient veal chops bursting with flavor when paired with those spice roasted turnips, that leftover egg salad, and not forgetting that fabulous raspberry coulis to marry everything together. I hope you enjoyed creating this with me. Warm flavors, perfect to enjoy. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button, and do put in a comment on what you'd like to see next.